Hey all, I'm your host Cryptic and welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you to everyone that subscribed to the channel and helped us smash through the 500 sub goal for the end of 2022. We smashed right through it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the content. And thank you for commenting, giving conversation to the things we love of technology, gaming, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for everyone's thoughtful feedback and kind words. It's greatly appreciated. And here's to bigger and better things in 2023. Fingers crossed the new goal for this year would be now to hit 1,000 subs. We'll see what we can do. Also, a quick channel update before getting into the title of this video, guys. There will be additional content going through in regards to VR, which starting off with today's video, of course, but not just VR, but I'm also considering getting into a bit of the sim rig and sim racing sort of stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, maybe you want to stick around for some tutorials, reviews, and just some gameplay of that. Let's see how things go. I don't know when that'll start. There's no ETA. It's sort of when the time is right? But definitely there'll be VR unboxing, reviews, tutorial setup guides, more PS5 stuff, other tutorial videos where possible. So a lot more of the stuff that you came in subscribed for and the stuff that I'm interested in posting and have posted in the past. More of that coming this year. So again, thank you all so much. And without dragging this intro any further, let's get straight into the topic of this video. Now, the topic, me wanting to do this video, was a very recent idea because I recently, in the last 48 hours, pre-ordered the PSVR2. I had no intention of getting the PSVR2 so early or even pre-ordering for launch, to be honest. If you look at my history with the original PSVR, I waited several years until they came out with the V2 for the HDR pass-through to get it. But things just sort of lined up in regards to doing a trade-in with my local EB Games. Not sponsored by them at all. They're my most local game shop that we have here in Australia, EB. They're the same as GameStop in the US and North America. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're owned by them now as well here. So they have very similar layout, websites, etc, etc. So I ended up trading in the base PS4 that I had and my PSVR V2, because I had the one that didn't have the sliding breakout box. It was a solid breakout box with the HDR pass-through, which I did a tutorial on how to set up on your PS5, which a lot of you lately have been watching a lot and commenting, and again, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I'm glad the video has been able to help you and in setting up your VR to your PS5. But yeah, I ended up getting that, and I've got less than half of the price left, sorry, to pay off on launch when I get it. I also picked up the docking station for the PSVR2 controllers, so I don't have to connect them via cable. They just plug in straight into the docking station and be charged and ready to go, so which is awesome. But after looking into things, watching some videos, some commentary on the forums, etc., I didn't realize how many people thought, like I did initially, that the PSVR2 was a bit pricey, you know, until I really compared it to the original PSVR launch, the PS4 launch price, PS5 price, and realized it's more or less the same. And I'll explain that. And again, you can choose to agree or disagree with my point of view in this video. Like I said, I came from a point where I truly believed it was too expensive and I was going to wait, etc. And you would say, but hey, you got an amazing trade-in, so that's why probably you're paying less than half out of your own pocket for it. It's like, yes, but if you have a PS5 and you've got similar cash to throw onto VR, the PSVR2 makes sense. And let's go straight into it. If we look here, originally in the PSVR, right, when it launched Australia and US, I'll try and have US prices where possible, but again, I am based in Australia and my pricing is in Australian dollars, so if you need to convert, just convert it to USD. So yeah, you'll get that. But essentially it launched at $399 US, right? which was here in Australia, $549.95 AUD. Canadians, Australians, were shafted pretty much the same way. So it was about on point with the PS4. PS4 was around the $499, $549 price point here for us at launch, right? PS4 AUD at launch here was at the pretty much the same price, $549 RRP in Australia. If you included the camera that it needed, right, for the PSVR, that was an additional 90 to 100 AUD. If you could get it bundled in, it was like an extra $50. So then it was essentially $50 more for a working bundle to get the PSVR more than the PS4. That didn't include the Move controllers. They're an extra, I think from memory here, between 100 to 150 AUD. So yeah, not including any bundles or discounts during the days of play that Sony tends to do every year, right? Now, if we go straight to the PS5 and PSVR2, let's start with the PSVR2. Here in Australia, it's $879.95 AUD, base model, right? Not including a bundled game in. We can get to the bundled game after. But $879.95, let's just round it up and make it easy, 880 Australian dollars, right? And that bundle gives you everything you need to work with it, to work with your PS5, right? Now, if we look at a PS5 disc price, it's $799.95 AUD. So let's round that up again, 800 AUD. It was $880 for the PSVR2, so it's $80 more, right? $80 more. I know in the States, it's about 50 USD more. So if you're given about the exchange rate difference, that's where it's about, right? It's almost about 40 to 50% difference more to USD. So it's not really that much more expensive. If anything, the PSVR2 technically, if we're talking about price gap between the console that it's compatible with to the VR headset, it's actually cheaper because you're forking out less over the base console. You got to remember, it comes with its motion controllers bundled in. You needed to buy them separately and potentially separately for the camera for the original PSVR. So really price-wise, let's call it even Stevens. Even though the PSVR2 comes out ahead dollar-wise, an additional on top of the PS5 in price difference, right? Let's say even Stevens, right? Because you're still forking out between $50 to $100 more, right? Bundled in with the game, it's $959.95, so it's about 80 AUD more. If you're to buy the game on its own, they're retailing between $90 to $105, depending if there's any price matching or, you know, price drops to compete, whether it's on Amazon. Here we have JB Hi-Fi and EB Games. In the States, you probably check, you know, your Walmarts, your GameStops, Amazon, eBay, etc., right? So, but bundled in, yes, it's a digital download, but it's $80. Bang, ready to go. That's the bundle I got, by the way. I got it with Horizon Call of the Mountain. Now, I saw a lot of comparisons with the Quest 2, Valve Index, etc. And you know what? Fair comparisons. But I would say if we look at feature sets, you can see where the price difference is. And if, for example, the Quest 2, if it was to meet up with the feature list that the PSVR 2 has, it would be equal to the price, if not slightly dearer, considering it's completely wireless. PSVR 2, keep in mind, is one USB-C straight to the front of the PS5, and that's it. That's everything, right? It's your power, video, motion, the whole lot off that one cable. Where the PSVR 2 was a ball of spaghetti. So look, let's go to the Oculus Quest 2. Currently, for pricing, if we go for the top tier 256 gig, AUD price on Amazon is $789.99. So let's round that up and keep it simple, 790 Australian dollars. There's about an $80 or so difference between the PSVR 2 and the Quest 2, right? It's cheaper. It's cheaper by $80 on the Quest 2. But why is it? Let's break down the features. Now, we know the PSVR 2 is an OLED panel, right, display. Quest 2 is an LCD. Panel resolution is QHD+, right? So it's that It's not quite 4K, but it's below. It's in between, right? When you add both eyes together, both lenses together, the PSVR2 is 4K. Panel refresh is 90 Hz, 120. The PSVR2 minimum 90, but looking at all the refresh rates for the recent games, I'd say 90% of them are running at the 120 Hz out of the gate, and I think Horizon Call of the Mountain is also at 120 Hz. I'd have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure. If I'm incorrect, I'll leave annotation on the video to correct that statistic, right? Field of view is only 90 degrees on the Quest 2. It's 110 to 120 FOV on the PSVR2. You've got the 4 cameras on the Quest. You've got 4 cameras, IR, and a whole bunch of other stuff on the PSVR2, right? You've got the vibration on the headset as well on the PSVR2, which, let's see how that is. I'm curious whether that'll annoy me or that would actually add additional features, additional sensations and realism like it does with the haptic feedbacks on the motion controllers and the DualSense controller for the PS5, right? Built-in microphone, built-in audio jack, comes with earbuds, compatible with headsets as well, especially if you have the Pulse 3D headset. Fits right over your head while you have the PSVR2 on, right? And of course, needs to be tethered to a PC for the Oculus Quest 2. Now, the PC price depends on what type of VR games and the hardware demand and requirements those games have, right? That's the thing. Here in Australia, with graphics card prices through the roof, guys, through the roof, especially with Nvidia's latest prices. AMD is doing better, but still, 1,000 US minimum. That's still like going to be 1,500 to $2,000 here, easy. Nvidia, 2.5 to $3,000, right? Just for, and that's AUD, just for a graphics card. If you need a whole new PC, rest in peace. You're blowing a $4,000 to $5,000 budget out the gate with everything you need. So yeah, the Quest 2, I get it, but still way more expensive. If you were to say PS5, this version, right, 800 AUD, 880 for the PSVR 2, that's 1,680 complete. Done, you've got everything you need. Now, if we compare it to the Valve Index, right, and Valve, for me, the Index is bee's knees when it comes to the PC stuff. I've used it sporadically, not for long term, but it left me wanting more, which is what I hope the PSVR 2 reaches when I get to use it personally and exceeds in some aspects, but it is the best of the best for PC. Full kit though is $1,899.95 Australian dollars, so 1,900. The PC again here, $3,000 to $4,000. You're over $5,000, right? You're over $5,000 with the whole thing if you need to buy a whole new PC. The PSVR 2 really is, and going to be, just like its predecessor, the VR for the masses, setting the standard of what current gen VR needs to achieve and do and be at. And I genuinely do believe anything that comes with the features, with the forward rendering, with the eye tracking, with any haptics, etc., whether it be on the headset or upgraded controllers, and adding those features, right? Because that's what's being talked about. If you don't have them, are you really worthwhile being thrown into the argument and into the conversation of which VR should you get depending on what platform you primarily play on? They're going to be more expensive. They always are. And remember, the PSVR sold really well. It was the best-selling VR for its generation, right? What it was going up against, where it reached 1 million units before all the others did, and they were out for like a year and a half or more prior, right? So yeah, with those facts in front of you guys, look into it, right? I don't think it's that expensive. I hope it's going to be as good as being previewed. I mean, I've put where my money where my mouth is and pre-ordered it. So yeah, I look forward to making an unboxing on it. a setup guide video as well for it, a first impressions, a full in-depth review with, you know, whatever pros and cons, bugs, experience, etc. But I think, you know, Sony hit it out of the park with the first one. Yeah, it's outdated. It's like 6-7 years old now. And I still played it. And it was great. But sure, I didn't have much experience with current gen now on PC as much. So the leap for me now going from the VR I've experienced to the VR2 is going to be huge. Going off all the impressions that everyone's done from CES and roughly 3 months ago when they had earlier previews before the price was announced. But it's not that expensive. It's not that far off. It's pretty much the same pound for pound when you look at the PS4 and the original VR when it came out. And you know there's bundles going to happen. You know there's going to be price drops. There's going to be promotions. I don't think the PSVR2 is going to be affected with a chip shortage like the PS5 has been and the Xbox Series X has been, etc, etc. So I think we're in a good place. But if you're interested in VR and you have a PS5 or you're thinking of getting one, you know, because you've struggled in the past to get one, but now they're readily in store. You can walk into a store. I walked in and asked them, hey, do you have PS5s? She said, yeah, man, you can walk into the store and just get them now. I said, I'm loaded at the back. Do you want one? Okay, no, I already have one. It's all good. I'll get the VR2. So you can walk into store. There's no more saying, you know, oh, where do I get one? I haven't got one yet. They're out of stock. They're not. Go to your local store, go online, you'll get one at recommended retail. You don't need to get them from scalpers. And if you're looking to VR, I'd highly recommend looking at the PSVR2. It's there. So yeah, guys, I hope you found this video informative. This is more of a discussion type video. Throwing up some numbers here. All the links to the websites that I viewed will be in the description box below, like always. If you found it useful, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. All feedback is greatly appreciated. Like, comment, share, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. The aim for 2023 is to hit 1,000 subs, and let's see how the rest of the year takes us, right? See you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.